Alright, you guys, this is your girl D Nicole, and I'm coming to you with a recap and review of Insecure Season 4, Episode 2, Lowkey Distant. So if you are not familiar with my platform, make sure that you like and subscribe to my channel below. Let's get to it. So this episode is basically talking about the distance and relationships between the characters. So this episode opens up with Molly and Andrew on a date, and we know that this is important because on the last episode, Molly has sent Andrew a text telling him that she has feelings for him. So we know that those feelings must be mutual because they're on a date. So Molly is basically being open, telling all her brother business to Andrew, and then Andrew gets a phone call. Andrew gets a call, he steps to the side, and you can tell that his energy is changing. So Molly is like, what's wrong with my man? You know, what's going on? So when he comes back, she's like, what's going on? And he kind of like, it's work stuff. He brushed it out. So you can tell that kind of bothers Molly because she was just being open with him, and now he's closing her out. But it didn't stop nothing because they ended their night with a nightcap. The next scene is basically my favorite scene of the entire episode. It is shared between Isla and Condola. And in this scene, we can see how Isla and Condola are going to sort out their difference or their awkwardness with their situation with Lawrence. So Isla and Condola are at the location of the block party, and Issa's painting her vision of what she sees. She see DJs over there, she see vendors over here, she see everybody, you know. And so she's telling Condola, you know, Condola is excited because she's seeing Issa's vision. Like, you want your friend to be like Condola. You want your friend to see your vision, you know. So Issa's like, you know, they excited. And so Issa's like, girl, I'm inviting you for drinks this weekend. And so Condola was like, I can't, you know, she had to quickly decline because she said she had to go out of town. And so Isla was like, oh, for business or for fun? And Condola was like, for fun. And then she was like, where you going? So she said, some valley, y'all. And so Isla, oh, romantic. So she realizes that romantic means Lawrence and Condola. And so they share another awkward moment. So Isla has to break the tension. She's like, hey, I don't want it to get awkward every time Lawrence's name is brought up. Condola's like, me neither. And so Isla was like, yeah, I'm definitely not finna be, you know, not being friends with somebody over a guy who likes mayonnaise on his fries. So they share their little joke or whatever like that, and they just go along about their day normal, not talking about Lawrence no more. Let's pause right quick, catch potatoes, because last week Molly was just coming at Issa sideways about continuing her friendship with Condola after learning the Lawrence situation. Could this actually just be a moment of maturity for Issa, or do y'all agree with Molly? Because I think us being the couch potatoes, we looking in, we honestly know Condola and Issa's friendship is actually genuine. They met up. Issa and Condola are doing this business trip. They actually genuinely got to know each other before even learning about Lawrence. So how can they allow Lawrence to come in and, you know, stir up their friendship? But then again, it's like, yeah, that is her dude from 5 years ago. So how would y'all react in this situation? Okay, let's press play. Alright, y'all, so this next scene is shared between the girls, and they're having a girls' night. Issa is filling them in about how much she has accomplished with this block party. So Molly is shocked because she doesn't know what's going on in Issa's life, but Molly has been the one low-key distant. But we can see that she hasn't been that distant with Kelly because Kelly knows the tea about Molly and Asian Bae. So Molly is filling in the other girls with the tea on Asian Bae, and she's complaining about them not being on the same wavelength or something. And so Issa and Tiffany like, what are you trying? Are you trying to find something wrong with him? Like, you telling us he giving you good D? You telling us he giving you a good time? Like, what are you trying to find? Alright, meanwhile, in this next scene, we see that Issa and TSA Bae are still knocking the boots. But it's probably quickly finna come to an end because they have a little mishap with the condom. So Issa goes into the restroom and she has her first mirror scene of the season. I mean, I'm not mad, but I am disappointed with herself. So, ladies, how many of you have had to have that come to Jesus moment with yourself? Like, girl, you know you weren't supposed to be over here. when you at the wrong place at the wrong time, stuff always happening. Like, you know, like, we be knowing y'all, but we still be going over there. All right, y'all. So in this next scene, we see that our girl Molly, well, she's not really our girl right now, but we see that Molly is really feeling Asian, babe, because she's giving him that midday afternoon calls walking through the office. So Molly is setting up this Netflix and chill in attempt to get Andrew to open up. So they set it up, they get off the phone, and the first interaction that Molly has is an awkward exchange with Torian. So we can see that their relationship is still a little off from last year in the White House. All right, y'all. So this next scene is shared with Condola and Lars. Y'all, I really like them. So Lars asks for some mayo. So that reminds Condola of a conversation that her and Issa had prior in the episode. So she does this little chuckle. And so Lars like, what you laughing at? And so she shares with him the encounter that Issa and her had earlier in the episode. So Lars feels some type of way because he's trying to figure out what is Issa and Condola talking about him for. So then he was like, so what else did y'all talk about? So Condola was like, you know, that you ran track in college. So now he really thinks that he's the topic of discussion, y'all. So he's like upset. You can tell that he's become awkward. So Condola is trying to reassure him that, you know, like, me and Issa, like, we really didn't talk about anything. We had to really tell that joke to ease the tension that we had. And that's basically all we talked about. And so, Lawrence, we can see that he's still upset. She asked him, was he upset about it? But we clearly see in the next thing that he's upset about it when he's talking with his boys. All right, so this next scene is between Lawrence and his boys, and Lawrence is pretty much telling the boys how he does not like Condola and Issa's relationship. So one of the friends was like, yeah, you need a dad in the situation, and the other one was like, you know, just go with the flow, you know, like, just leave it be. And so, we can tell that Lawrence is just really bothered about it, and he wants to text Issa, but about the conversation. Now, we know that the conversation was very innocent, but he is just so gung-ho with telling Issa not to talk to Condola about him. Now, y'all, this leads me to think, like, Lawrence, what are you trying to hide? Like, what did you do? Because I don't really remember you being anything but, like, a little junkie bum at the most. But, I mean, what do you think Issa's gonna tell Condola? All right, meanwhile, while Lawrence is over there stressing about Condola and Issa, Condola and Issa are out having a business meeting. So, Condola and Issa are having a business meeting, and we can see that they are becoming friends because they are still with their hee-hee, giggling, and all their little jokes or whatever. And the business meeting is coming to an end, but in walks our girl, Molly. So, y'all, this is the funniest part of the episode to me. So, when Molly walks in, they all three of them run up to each other and do a hug. The most awkward hug I've ever seen in life, okay? So, Molly was like, and Issa like, I love it! Like, Issa is all for our girl Condola joining a friend group. So, Condola's about to leave, and she's telling about she's about to go grab something to eat. And so Issa invites Condola to eat with them. So Molly is not feeling it because Molly like, girl, Issa, I really wanted to have a conversation with you alone, but I mean, I don't trust Condola. I don't really know her. And Issa like, girl, you can talk. Like, so Issa is trying to reassure that Condola is cool people. So, we can clearly see that throughout the entire exchange of the entire scene that Molly is really jealous of Condola's and Issa's relationship. All right, y'all, so this next scene is shared with Issa and Lawrence. So Lawrence pulls up to Issa's apartment and tells her to come outside. Clearly, we see that Lawrence is not listening to his friends when they told him not to leave a paper trail, that this might open up a line of communication. So I honestly think that this might become a problem later on in the season, but I don't know. We have to find out. But Lawrence asks Issa to come outside. Issa comes outside. They have a talk, and he tells Issa that basically he doesn't like her and Condola talking about him, and if Issa can keep his name out of her mouth when talking to Condola. And so Issa quickly, like, kind of reassures him the same way that Condola did. Like, honestly, we only had to joke on you real quick so that our friendship could get back into going. So Issa and him end their conversation and they part ways then. All right, y'all. So this next scene is with Molly and Andrew, and they're having their Netflix and chill night. So Molly is really on a mission to get Andrew to open up, but Andrew just really is not having it. He's like really shutting Molly down. Like he doesn't want to talk about it. And so I'm just really trying to understand, like, Molly, girl, are you even a good lawyer? Because you weren't even paying attention to his body language. Like, he clearly doesn't want to talk about it. You constantly pushing him, and you changed the whole energy of it, having him to have to storm out and tell you, like, you always trying to find something wrong. Like, so everybody is telling Molly, like, basically, girl, it's you. Like, you need to get it together, Molly. You need to get it together. All right, y'all. So let's have a quick reality check. So do y'all think Molly was wrong for constantly pushing Andrew? Or do y'all think that this was her time to honestly ask him what they were? Because we clearly seen in that first episode that her and him were not on the same page because she found out that he's dating other people. So was this her time to figure out, like, okay, where do you see this going? Because y'all, you know, sometimes when you start talking to somebody, when you first start talking to them, y'all can be on the same page. Y'all telling each other that y'all are attracted to each other. Y'all are doing all of these things. But, you know, sometimes when time gets into it, you lose attraction to that person. That person might not feel as strongly for you as you feel for them. And, you know, they might not even look at you in the same lane as you look at them to end on. So you sometimes just need to maybe have that same page check to realize if y'all are on the same page. So how often do you think that when you're talking to someone or you're in a relationship, situationship, or whatever ship, should you have that same page check? Like, you know, are we still looking into doing the same thing? Are we just chilling? Are we trying to make this grow? Like, what are we trying to do? Because y'all know those little situations can get sticky. Y'all, so this next scene is shared between Issa and Lars, Isla and Khandala, and Isla and Molly. So Isla is sitting in the car and she's waiting to go into the Schoolboy Q concert when Condola texts her and tell her that she's 10 minutes away. So this prompts Isla to call Lawrence because she really needs to know what should she say to Condola. She doesn't want to say the wrong thing. So we can see that Isla is really being genuine about Condola and Lawrence relationship. Like, she seems to not want to mess things up. So Lawrence tells Issa, no, don't worry about it. It's not a big deal. It's nothing to talk about. And Issa like, yeah, I thought so. So Issa goes into the concert and Molly calls Issa while she's in the concert. And Issa texts her and tells her that it's loud that she's in the concert. So this is another scene where we see that Molly and Issa relationship is a little low-key. All right, so this next scene is between Molly and Torian, and we can tell that Molly is kind of still having an attitude or feeling some type of way from the way that Torian kind of blew her off earlier in the week. So Torian is in the conference and he's talking about this account that he clearly knows Molly has information on. So Molly is all in the meeting and she's giving all kind of stank body language, like she don't want to hear, but she really want to say something, but she not gonna say nothing. And so the people turn to Molly and try to ask her, is she okay? And she was like, yeah, she was just focused on the window while she outside. So the meeting is over and Molly goes to her office and Torian then comes in there and he confronts Molly. He's just trying to understand why Molly chooses to speak up when she does and why she doesn't. So he was like, don't you have history with this client? And Molly was like, yeah, but I didn't want to be negative and try to give him an apology. It was just, and the look on his face is like my look right now, like, Molly, we not buying it. Like, I'm not. All right, y'all, so this is the final scene, and it's shared between Issa and Molly. So Issa and Molly are having their self-care Sunday, and Issa is excited, telling Molly how she has found her a headliner. So she tells Molly then that she needs to take her out for drinks, and she can even invite Asian Bae. So that's when Molly fills her in about how she might have pushed Asian Bae a little too hard, that they might not even be a thing. So then Issa gives Molly a look, and Molly is like, what? And Issa's like, and Molly's like, what? So Molly's pushing her for the truth. So then Issa then says, it seems like you're just always trying to find something. it's like sometimes you don't want to be happy. Are you tired? I'm tired. So then we know that Issa feels some type of way about Molly always being negative. So ironically, Molly gets a phone call, and it is of Andrew. And so from Andrew. So Andrew then apologizes to Molly and tell her how, the other night that he's just not into, pouring himself out to people. Like, he doesn't normally do that, but he's willing to give it a try. So, Molly's like, I'll wait, I'll do it, anywho, or whatever. So then she gets off the phone with him, and she goes back to Issa. So Issa asks her who was on the phone, and she lies and tell her it was some work stuff. So then it just got me thinking, like, why is Molly lying to our girl Issa? But then Issa then shares that her and TSA Bay are done, and how, her plan B was beginning to look like plan A. So that leads me to think about how sometimes, y'all, we get so content when things are working out, or, things are going smoothly, that we sometimes put what we really want on the wait. Like, you should always be for your plan A and not be content with your plan B. All right, y'all, so this leads to our last reality check of the segment. That last line really hit home for me when Issa said how her plan B was becoming her plan A. Things were really going good for Issa until she had that slip up when she had to finally give herself that reality check. So, like, how many slip ups must we have before we give ourselves that reality check that plan B is not what we want to go on in our life? That's not the end road that we want, that we got to stay the course. Like, how many?